Madam President and Vice Chancellor, ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure and privilege to present our honorary doctoral candidate, Annette Verschuren. Annette Verschuren is a passionate and accomplished business leader whose distinctive career has spanned a diverse range of sectors, from mining to government, retail to sustainable energy. Ms. Verschuren is Chair and CEO of NR Store, a venture accelerating the commercialization of energy storage technologies. Known as a builder, she has taken her wealth of experience, unique and well-rounded skill set in finance, operations, and leadership, and applied it to a diverse range of public, private, and nonprofit ventures throughout her career. Her success at building and growing companies can be attributed to her entrepreneurial spirit, business savvy, ability to see potential opportunities, and willingness to take on diverse roles and tough problems. Above all, Annette Verschuren is an exceptional leader who demonstrates honesty, integrity, inclusivity, and who understands how to get people behind a vision, strategy, and execution. Her entrepreneurial spirit and leadership abilities were shaped by her childhood. Born to Dutch immigrants, she was brought up on her family's dairy farm in Cape Breton, Nova Scotia. She attended St. Francis Xavier University, where she earned a Bachelor of Business Administration. Annette Verschuren began her career as a development officer with the Cape Breton Development Corporation, a coal mining operation in Sydney, Nova Scotia. She then went on to work with the Canada Development Investment Corporation, where she held various executive positions and was responsible for privatizing Crown corporations. She later joined Amasco in Montreal, one of Canada's largest holding companies, in financial services, retail, and food services, where she served as Vice President of Corporate Development. She left Amasco to become president and co-owners of Michaels, Canada's largest chain of arts and crafts stores. There, she opened 17 stores in 26 months before moving on to join the Home Depot, where she served as president and CEO of Canada and Asia. When she joined Home Depot, she was the first president without home improvement expertise and had little retail experience, and was the first woman in the company to take an operational role. Between 1996 and 2011, she oversaw growth of the company's Canadian operations from 19 to 180 stores and led the company's entry into China. Ms. Verschuren also holds board positions with Liberty Mutual Insurance Group, Air Canada, Saputo, and Northwest Company, among others. She gives her time as a board member to the Centre for Addiction and Mental Health Foundation and the Conference Board of Canada. Providing her skills and attention to national issues is important to Annette Verschuren. She serves as a member of the North American Competitiveness Council, appointed by Prime Minister Stephen Harper. She was a member of the Finance Minister Flaherty's Economic Advisory Council and was appointed chair of the Ontario Clean Energy Task Force by the Province of Ontario in 2012. Most recently, she agreed to serve on the federal government's expert panel for the Venture Capital Action Plan in 2013. In 2011, Annette Verschuren was honored as an Officer of the Order of Canada for her contribution to the retail industry and corporate social responsibility. A champion of community investment and volunteerism, Annette Verschuren serves as Chancellor of Cape Breton University and chairs fundraising efforts for the university's Verschuren Centre for Sustainability in Energy and the Environment. She is a longtime supporter of numerous other charities, including CAMH, Habitat for Humanity, and Volunteer Canada. She has been recognized for many of her achievements and contributions, including her induction into the Canada's Marketing Hall of Legends and the Nova Scotia Business Hall of Fame. She was named Outstanding Business Leader of the Year in 2005 by Wilfrid Laurier University. And the Retail Council of Canada named her Distinguished Canadian Retailer of the Year in 2005. Madame Vice Chancellor, in recognition of her outstanding contributions to entrepreneurship and sustainability in Canada and globally, I request that you confer the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa, upon Annette Verschuren.
By virtue of the authority vested in me by the Board and on the recommendation of the Faculty Senate, I hereby grant you the degree of Doctor of Laws, honoris causa. Congratulations.
What a thrill it is to receive this honor. Good morning, Vice Chancellor and President, family and friends of the fall graduating class, Carleton University. Many of you are starting your careers, extending your careers, or extending your studies today. So what is it that I can share with you that would inspire and influence you? And my speech is probably shorter than the introduction. I want to know what I can say in 5 or 6 minutes that would perhaps leave you with something that has been important in my life. I built my career on a passion for a more sustainable world. And here's how it started. My father, Tony, was only 42 when he suffered a massive heart attack. We all wanted to keep the farm, but the labor necessary to do this was too much for him, for my mom, and the 5 of us kids. We were aged 2 to 14. So what could he do? He designed a liquid manure system, yes, a liquid manure system, that not only reduced the work of shoveling manure every day, but replaced the expensive fertilizers that were spread annually on the fields. He constructed a giant cow toilet by building a water tank at one end of the farm, at the barn. And this water would be released, and we flushed the liquid manure through those gutters into a big cement pit outside of the barn. He would drive his liquid manure spreader which applied the organic fertilizer on the farm all year round. I was only 11 years old when he did this, and it was my first experience of solving a difficult problem in a more sustainable and innovative way. At the time, he was the first farmer to do this in the dairy industry in Nova Scotia. He taught me to look at things from different angles because of necessity, and he taught me never to give up. I was so proud of him. My first visit to the family in Netherlands was my next big eye-opener with regards to sustainability. And one of my cousins, Rudy, is in the audience today. It was in the mid-70s. We stayed with my cousins, and in their porches, they had containers that separated glass, aluminum, paper, wood, and various other materials. They were recycling back then in rural Holland. The farmers there were producing as much milk on 1/3 of the land as local farmers were in Nova Scotia. This was another big lesson. I saw how things could be done differently and efficiently early in my life. My first job was in the coal mining business, under the sea off the coast of Cape Breton Island. The coal had a lot of sulfur content, and we sold that coal to the Nova Scotia utility, and the better, less sulfur coal, metallurgical coal, was sold to the local steel plant and overseas. I learned so much during my first job. It was a Crown corporation, and I learned how not to run a company. I eventually became a board member and was involved in making the decision to close down the mines. They were neither profitable nor safe. It was a tough, but it was the right decision for that community. Now fast forward, during my 15 years as president of the Home Depot in Canada, we introduced Eco Options, 1,700 products that gave the customer a choice or option to choose a more sustainable product. We worked with all the utilities across the country to help conserve energy and water and save money. We sold more low-flow toilets than you can imagine. In one day, 40,000 low-flow toilets went out of the doors at Home Depot. Now that is a lot of toilets. And we saved a lot of water with selling those toilets. We purchased more sustainable forest products and used our buying power to improve the forests all around the world. The associates loved it, the customers loved it, and we were very successful. Making profit and acting socially responsible is one of the secrets to success I've used all along the way. And were there naysayers? You bet. But passion and determination is a powerful thing. I believe it's becoming the new way we'll be running our companies, the new form of capitalism. So I retired from Home Depot in 2011, and I really wanted to think about what to do next. There were many retail opportunities, but it would have been tough to beat my Home Depot experience. So Stan, who's also here today, who I adore, my husband and I took a break to travel to 17 countries around the world. I wanted to reflect, to really think about what was next. 3 things stuck me as big challenges facing our planet: food, water, and energy. I also connected with a lot of amazing people during this time as I co-chaired the Governor General's Canadian Leadership Conference with David Johnson. This gave me access to such great thinkers as Dominic Barton, Sergio Marchioni, Monique Leroux, Naheed Nenshi, and many others, where I learned about sustainability in many different ways. So I chose energy. Why? Because we've managed to be able to store food and water quite well, but we're not so good at storing large amounts of energy. Why is this so important? The clean, renewable energy that's coming on grids in Canada and all over the world, particularly from wind and solar, really needs storage. When the wind blows at night, the energy does not match the demand. Holding and storing that wind to meet demand will add so much value to this form of energy. In 2011, I met up with a great venture capitalist and longtime friend, David Patterson, from Northwater Capital, who had the idea of accelerating energy storage projects through different technologies. NR Store Inc. was created, and lo and behold, we have our first commercial energy project underway in Ontario after being in business in just over a year. It's a flywheel project. The technology partner is Temporal Power, an Ontario-based manufacturer, and it's for frequency regulation. The flywheel is like a large shock absorber, holding lots of power for short periods of time to help the intermittent energy coming through the system. It's a tool for the independent electricity operator to manage intermittent renewable energy sources. We at EnerStore are working with other technologies such as compressed air and battery technologies. So in the meantime, as Chancellor of Cape Breton University, we built the Verschuren Center of Sustainability of Energy and the Environment. It's a wonderful new research facility that grew out of the legacy of the coal and steel businesses. The center is a commercially focused R&D service provider to develop and deliver sustainable solutions in energy, food, and resource management to business, governments, and communities. Its vision is to aspire to a world where clean technologies, low carbon energy, and sustainable food production support resilient economies and communities, and where poverty and environmental degradation are eliminated. The center is a technology developer, and it's focused on markets in forestry, mining, fishing, oil and gas, and biotech and pharmaceutical. And so it comes full circle. And it's so cool to give back to the community that my Dutch immigrant parents chose to bring up their children. We're living through a transformation from mining and steel industry to clean tech industries in Cape Breton. Clean energy technology has enormous potential for our energy-rich country. Cleaner energy is good for every market in the world. So as you decide on your next steps in your career, recognize that you can build a career on passion for a more sustainable world. If a farm girl from Cape Breton can do it, so can you. Best of luck, everyone.